Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a minute. Yes, I know, but today I have a video. So today's video is going to be on resentment, and this has been one of my biggest things in my life. Like, I'm someone that I cannot let something go to save my life, and I had realized how backed up that has made me. You feel me? It has hindered me so much. But in this video, we're going to talk about how resentment is like holding in a shit. And eventually, you get constipated and you got to let that shit go. You got to let that shit go. You got to let that shit go. I have been doing so much growing as a person to the point where I had to address certain things. And one of the things I had to address was my resentment. There's a lot of things people have done to me in my life in the past that I just couldn't look past. I couldn't look past it. I couldn't leave the past in the past because I couldn't look past the past. But genuinely and seriously, it was so hard for me to let go of the hurt and pain that I've experienced by certain people. Certain people's behaviors were so nasty, were so terrible. I just couldn't get past how you could treat somebody like that. And the thing about resentment is it's so much suppressed emotions. It's a layer of emotions. It's not only anger, but it's anger and sadness for the mistreatment and injustice towards you. And a lot of things cannot be looked past, and I can understand that. And how rude or disrespectful or how nasty somebody has been to me, and I guess I didn't stick up for myself in the moment, or I wasn't able to speak up for myself. And that has caused me so much, it has caused me so much more pain to hold on to the resentment than it is to let it go and actually address it. So I'm going to start off with how resentment even keeps you stuck in the past in the first place. Not only do you replay the thoughts that people and experiences and stuff that people have done to you, but it keeps you in a moment where you're not in it anymore. And something I realized is that resentment is like a kind of grief. It's like a kind of grief of arguing or trying to justify for something that isn't happening anymore. Like the argument, or say, for example, say you have an argument or you have such a deeply rooted betrayal within yourself. You feel so betrayed about how people have treated you, the mistreatment that they have towards you, correct? Holding on to that and replaying that in your mind, replaying that experience, it steals time from your present moment. And so much time was stolen from me from the present moment because I couldn't get past shit people done to me in the past. And I had to get past the shit that people have done to me in order for me to really be in my present moment. I couldn't do that because I was so stuck on the fact that someone has done something to me. This person has treated me this way. This family member had treated me this way. And it has literally hindered me from moving forward. And I noticed that blockage because I couldn't move forward on anything because I couldn't get past certain stuff people have done to me. I held on to it so tight. Literally, I'm talking about something, I literally started getting backed up. But I held on to certain experiences so tightly and so closely that I wasn't able to cultivate new experiences for myself. I wasn't able to be in the present moment and look at all the opportunities in front of me. And that's the thing about resentment. It also steals opportunities from you. It doesn't only steal time away from you. It doesn't only steal opportunities away from you. It also steals the present moment. And you're just grieving something that you could never justify within yourself. And if you do not let yourself feel all of those emotions, feel the grief of someone disappointing you, the disapproval that you have to hold of someone not actually being there for you. Whatever you hold resentment for, you have to fully feel that emotion. You have to fully face the fact that these people were never going to show up for you the way you wanted to. Whether it be a mother, an aunt, or whoever, family, your dad, whoever you're holding resentment towards, you have to see the situation exactly for what it is, and you have to accept the disapproval, the sadness, the anger, the everything that leads up to the resentment. You have to face that, because for a long time, I was angry and resentful for a lot of people, a lot of family members that have not done right by me, let alone ever appreciate who I was as a person let alone appreciate who I was as a person or even seen my character for who I really was. And yet I was holding resentment for people that were never going to I was holding resentment for people who were never going to respect me, who was never going to see me for me. And I'm done trying to gain approval for those people. You have to sit and accept that these people, like I said, we're never going to see you for who you are. We're never going to appreciate you for who you are. Was never going to see you fully. And you chasing that approval while also resenting the fact that they see you in such a negative light, while also resenting the fact all the things that they have done to you, it's just holding you back from actually moving forward and putting that energy into something else. You know how exhausting it is? It's so exhausting to think about what somebody has did to you over and over again. It's not only exhausting to feel the fact that they disappointed you, that they have let you down, that they have caused so much anger, sadness, and resentment, and they don't see their faults or actions in that. Not only do you have to acknowledge that people have wronged you and they out there living their life, you are stuck on it. You are acknowledging the fact that, dang, these events happened. These events made me feel such and such way. You know how long and exhausting that is to spend your mental energy on somebody did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 months ago, a year ago? You know how much mental energy that takes. And I'm not saying just boom, get over it. It is what it is, or not justify what you've been through. I am justifying what you've been through. I am justifying the fact that it is right. It is totally okay to be angry. I am justifying the fact that it's okay to be completely sad. But you need to fully feel that emotion so it can go. Tell resentment, you have served your purpose. I have felt this emotion. I understand that this is what I've been through, but you have to acknowledge this is what I've been through. I stand tall that I've been through this, but I do not want to continue to repeat and experience this over and over again. I do not want to hold on to this to the point where I can't move on with my life. To the point where this is my entire life. My entire life is holding on to what these people have done to me. And I realize I cannot spend my life like that. I cannot spend my life just miserable on what somebody else did to me because I gotta go make glitter into gold. I gotta go make the dirt into gold. I gotta transform the situation, transmute the bad things that happened to me so I can be able to give myself a better life, a good life, because they're never going to change, or whomever did whatever, they are never going to acknowledge that. Even if they do, great, but do not beat yourself up trying to get that out of them to fulfill the resentment, to fulfill what someone has done to you, because you will always remember, especially if you're someone that overthinks or just remembers things, you will never forget how somebody treated you when you were already having a hard time, when you were already going through what you were going through. You'll never forget how somebody did this, that, and the third when all you had was a genuine heart. When all you had was what you gave and what you came and gave. You feel me? When all you had was the good intentions, and that still happened. And you're still trying to justify it. You're still trying to garner some type of respect. Any emotion that you're trying to receive from that said person, you have to let go of that idea from receiving it from them so you can go be where you're loved, where you are wanted. There is no purpose in trying to continue to fuel your resentment with the thoughts and memories of the terrible things people have done to you. You are not disrespecting, what Santana say? I am not disrespecting anybody by being myself. You go where you are loved. You go where you are appreciated. And let go of the resentment that people have left you with. They left you with all this baggage, all this shit. Y'all constipated. You can't let it go. You just here having stomach problems. You know what I'm saying? And one of the biggest things that made me realize that I had to let go is sometimes you got to give up the fight to win the war. Some people gave you shit because they expected you to stick to the shit. And you went and turned shit into gold. You made dirt into glitter. You feel me? They are expecting you to just have and handle the shit that they gave to you. Because some people that have truly left you resentful, disappointed, they didn't see you doing better for yourself. They didn't see you pouring into yourself after all the BS they put you through. So it is your responsibility to acknowledge these emotions so you can go on and so forth and live a beautiful life that people didn't want for you. That people, you're trying to gain these people approval and show them, oh, look, this is what I've done. Look at the person that I am. Look at this, that, and the third, just to excuse the resentment, just to excuse someone's behavior, thinking they'll see the kind of person you are. Those people were never meant to see you. You will be seen by people who see you because they will actually see your character. Proving your characters to somebody that will never see you will be just a waste of time. Holding on to that resentment will just be a waste of time because you're serving nobody, no purpose. And I started to realize resentment is a lot different from anger. Anger, you can feel an emotions and be angry and express it to someone, and that'll be that. Resentment, it lingers. It's something that you could probably hold on for the rest of your life. And I realized my life is a long time, and I cannot give that. I can't give that to anybody. Although experiences may have happened, I cannot give my entire life being held up on some shit because I just couldn't let go. Spending the rest of my life? The rest of my life. You telling me one day I won't exist on the plane of existence anymore. I will be dirt one day. My body will just disintegrate and be for the animals in the dirt, for the insects, for the worms. And I've held on to something for the rest of my life because I couldn't move on. No, I will not block my blessings. I will not block my opportunities because I can't move on from someone else's actions. And I started to realize how people have treated me have nothing to do with you. It have nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me how someone else chose to show up in my life. That's your character. And somebody that I learned that from somebody. They're not important in my life anymore, but I did learn that from them. You got to understand when to walk away and say, that has nothing to do with me. Letting go of the resentment had nothing to do with me anymore. That's how you chose to show up in my life. That's how you chose to treat me. That's how you chose to show up. I'm not dealing with it. That's your character. That does not define me as a person because you mistreated me. That does not define me as a person because you don't respect me. That does not define me as a person because you can't control me. You can't do this, that, and the third. So you deem me as this person. Okay, well, that's you. That has nothing to do with me. And learning to let that go, give it to God, give it to them, whoever, I just don't have it. I just don't have the resentment anymore. You don't take up space in my mind. I promise you, nobody takes up space in my mind to have me thinking, oh my gosh, no. None of that shit no more. I put my big woman pants on. I'm not arguing with nobody that's grown. I'm not doing all this resentful stuff. If you did something to me, I'm willing to acknowledge it. After I acknowledge within myself why I even feel the way that I feel, I'm going to go ahead and say, the rest, that's you. That got nothing to do with me no more. And learning that has been such a weight lifted off my shoulders because I'm not blocking opportunities for myself no more, because I've learned a lot of stuff that I have took on and held on to wasn't even mine to hold on to in the first place. A lot of people thought, well, not a lot of people thought, but before I even got a chance to build my own identity, before I even got a chance to know who I was already being ridiculed, picked on, being bullied for an identity I didn't even build yet. I had jealous family members tell me, oh, who does she think she is? I had jealous family members think I'm just this, I'm just that. Never was. Never thought I was. Never did. But they thought that and they projected that onto me. And you know what I did? I went and I internalized it. I internalized their mistreatment, their judgments, their prejudice, their projections, and I took that as this is me. This is who I am. Because when you're growing up, who adults reflect back to you that you are is what you internalize and believe yourself to be. And I had to learn to let that shit go because that's not who I am. I have decided that those judgments, those prejudices have nothing to do with me. Your disapproval, even though it may pain me, it does not define me. I will still continue to shine bright and be who I am. Do not let people take your light away from you. Because that's what they want to do. They want to say, oh, she's exactly who we said that she was. Of course she had this loss. Of course this is what her character turned out to be. Do not let people be right about you that have no idea who you are or what you've been through. They will never be you and they aren't you. You hold that pain of that disapproval. You hold that pain of that betrayal, and you take your 2 feet and you walk them out the door. You do not have to be around anybody that don't see you or appreciate you. You do not. I am done. And this is specifically, I'm going to go into depth a little bit more, but for anybody that has any maternal wounds around like just mothers or the judgments projected onto you, I was told I was nothing before I even knew I was something. You feel me? Like, and that's one thing I want to clock about a lot of Caribbean mothers. Y'all love to say, if this resonates with you, it resonates to you. Y'all love to say, oh, like if y'all have girl kids, they not nothing, they not this, who she thinks she is, projecting all of this jealousy. You never know how the kid is going to turn out later. You never know who they're going to be. So I don't understand why so many mothers, so many Caribbean mothers, so many Caribbean aunties just shame a lot of children. Shame a lot of women growing up. Before people even get to form an identity, before the kid even gets to know who they are as a person, you already telling them they not shit. You already telling them, oh, who she thinks she is. She always got a tone. She always got an attitude. She's always aggressive. Some kids haven't even been able to understand their own emotions yet, and they're being told that they're that. You feel me? They're being told that they're that. And I know that's a lot for Caribbean daughters to hold on to, because they carry that role on their back of whatever projection their mom projects at them. Whether it be like aggressive, oh, she thinks she's all that. They hold that within their heart. And I want y'all, I want to tell y'all for real, let it go. Let it go. It is not helping you. You are only hurting yourself. Eventually, when you hold on to resentment for too long, it becomes a double-edged sword. You start hurting yourself because you start realizing you're arguing with a ghost. I'm fighting arguments in my mind with people who have said terrible things to me 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't want to participate in these arguments anymore. I don't want to give my energy to that. I'm not spending my energy on that. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna keep fighting to prove my character to someone who isn't there anymore. And that's the thing. It's in your mind. Like, even if you remove the person, remove whoever caused this resentment, sometimes it can linger in your mind how these people have treated you and how they felt about you. It can linger in your mind. You start seeing yourself from their perspective. And I had to learn to quit that. Give me my flowers. And even then, it comes with backhanded compliments. It comes with a little bit spitefulness. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that. You feel me? I started viewing myself from the perspective of people who never treated me right, who have mishandled me and mistreated me. And to look at yourself from that perspective, or even look at yourself that way, it causes you so much pain because you start to doubt yourself. You probably been gaslit or whatever form of manipulation was handed to you. You start to doubt yourself because in your mind, you're viewing yourself from that perspective of a jealous mother, a jealous auntie, a jealous whoever, or whatever else they were to you, narcissistic, whatever it was. You're viewing yourself from that perspective, and you need to let go both them and the idea that judgmental people had of you, or the idea or treatment that they have given you. You need to let it go. It has to go. It has to. With that, I talked about Caribbean mothers being very rude and disrespectful to their Caribbean daughters. What else do I have to say? It's just very hurtful, and you have to learn eventually to walk away. You have to walk away from whoever is treating you bad. You do not have to be there. It could be family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your daddy, your mama, auntie, nephew, whatever. Well, maybe not the nephew. But it could be so many different people that have caused you to have this resentment. But all I'm going to say is you do not have to hold on to it. The day I decided this is not mine to carry, I was like, wow, it was that easy. This whole time I could just be like, I'm actually choosing not to think about this. I'm actually choosing, no, this is not for me. I actually don't care. I really don't. You're not going to continue to mistreat me. No. And it's to a point where you just get older. You just get older and realize you're not a kid anymore, and you need to put your grown woman pants on and just remove yourself from the situation. Walk away and remove yourself. You don't ever have to speak to them people again. Or you could beat them up. Or you could just beat their ass. Whichever one works for you, however you want to release the resentment. I release the resentment by saying I just choose to no longer entertain this. I've decided that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with my character, who I am, and it doesn't define me, so I'm letting it go. Simple. Genuinely that simple. I was like, this doesn't define me anymore. You can keep those perspectives and you can continue to replay them and continue to fuel whatever hate you have for me in your heart. But as long as I'm not carrying it, shit, I'm good. In conclusion, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for allowing these people's judgments, allowing these people's perspective of you to have so much of a hold on you, to have so much of a to dictate who you are and what your life is going to be. What people told you you were may not be who you are right now. And you need to let go of that resentment and those ideas and judgments of who these people thought you were. Because you could be completely different than that. Maybe who you are is just different from what they expect and what they want for their life. And just let go of any of that. All of it. Let it go. Forgive yourself. Allow yourself to be completely who you are without that judgment. Allow yourself to take up space in places where they have told you that you have to remain small. Because you may not be in those spaces or places anymore, and you need to allow yourself to take up that space. You need to allow yourself to be fully who you are without that judgment and resentment. You need to be fully who you are without apology. And it's so sorry that these people will never get to experience or grasp the beautiful, amazing person you are. And you really have to say that's not your problem and move on with your life. So you can be those great things. So you can take up the space. So you can be all the good things and everything you never got to be because those spaces didn't allow you to. And you need to go be that unapologetically. And I've learned that so much. I've been seeing so many things where it's like, you need to be yourself. Not only be yourself, but seeing so many things of people being different and still taking up space. It hurts me so much that when people are indifferent from you, they're exiled. They're banned from whatever, like, back in the day, like old times, like if you were in like a group or a clan, like exiled from the group or clan because you're not the same as everybody else. Sometimes you got to go where you're wanted, boo. And if it's not there, then it's not there. But please forgive yourself for people not handling you with care. You need to be able to be the one to handle yourself with care now. You need to be able to look at yourself from a fresh, new perspective from who you actually are so you can grow and prosper. Because I promise you that resentment is going to keep you from prospering. I could not take up space because I had so many family members growing up tell me who I was before I even got the chance to form an opinion on who I was. I was told I was so many things, so disrespectful, so nasty, before I even knew what disrespectful and nasty was. You feel me? Like I can't even point in myself what actions I have taken to make someone feel the way they feel about me. And sometimes it's just them projecting or feeling that way. And you have to say that has nothing to do with you. How many times I gotta say this? Moral of the story, that has nothing to do with you. The resentment has nothing to do with you. Their judgments, prejudice, or you being different has nothing to do with you. Stand proudly in who you are. You're a grown woman. You're a grown person. Stand firmly in who you are and be unapologetically that. I am wrapping up this video. I gotta go. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and that's my take on resentment, how I've literally been just moving through life angry and mad, and I'm choosing not to be that anymore. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Tune into your girl. We gonna be maybe consistent. Maybe we gonna be that. Maybe we gonna be that. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. I love you guys. Bye. And yes, I'm in a different different angle. Yes, it's raining outside. Yes, it's mad dark. But I just wanted to explain a few things that I didn't get to explain yet. And with that, to continue on to the conversation or whatnot, but after not being angry for so long and suppressing your anger for so long, yes, you will start becoming really angry. You will become really upset and mad all over again, and you'll feel the sadness and emotion and grief all over again. And with all those feelings and finally allowing yourself to be angry, because suppressing your anger for a long time, and like imagine suppressing your anger for a long time and finally getting to validate your own feelings. Once you get to that point of validating your own feelings and you do get really angry, not to humanize terrible people or whatnot, or humanize people's terrible behavior, but actually to humanize it. I know that's contradicting, but actually forgiving people and forgiving yourself, forgiving people for for not appreciating you for who you fully are, and forgiving yourself for just experiencing that. It comes to a point where you do have to take responsibility for your own feelings and healing. Just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean it's reconciliation, doesn't mean you have to give the person access to you again. It's just forgiving the situation, how you were treated, and forgiving the experience. You take it for what it is and not internalizing it too much. So just at least forgive so you don't end up holding on to that hurt for the rest of your life. Do not let other people's perceptions or projections define who you are. But to finish off what I'm saying, do not deny yourself the opportunity of being who you are. Allow yourself to be who you are fully and appreciate yourself. Take responsibility of yourself, even though those mistreatments have happened in the past. Be someone to give yourself grace and the opportunity to give yourself a better life and treat yourself better. That is the best way to alchemize resentment. Try to alchemize it into something meaningful and purposeful to you, so you don't end up being harsh with yourself all your life and not giving yourself grace and thinking something is internally wrong with you because of others' mistreatment, because that's not the case. So make sure you have make sure you have the strength to forgive people for their behavior because they couldn't truly see you. With resolving the resentment, you have to deal with the abandonment and how people may perceive you, and that's okay. Carry that weight and alchemize it into loving yourself and pouring into yourself. Once again, that doesn't define you as a person. Do not hold on to it. Do not do not sacrifice years and years and years holding on to that in your heart. Find it in your heart to forgive yourself, and not only forgive yourself, but forgive other people. And I know that I keep repeating myself, but truly do that so you don't waste years continuing holding on to something. Me personally, let it go. Let it go. That's the moral of the story, is let it go. Give me your thoughts on how you're handling your own resentment, and how are you alchemizing that? How are you treating yourself these days? So it is very important that you give yourself that grace, give yourself that time, because unfortunately it is backwards, but you do not get the same grace as the same people that wronged you. And baby, you got to make sure that's not your problem, okay? Take care of yourself. Stay focused. Stay blessed. Give God the rest. Leica is out, boo.